Hello out there are in video land, and we're gonna get our radio land people going here, and we're good to go for the show. The show must go on today. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is your city, your voice, coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the beautiful studios of 4680Q, and we are here on a finally Friday. We got the weekend coming up. It's supposed to be a nice weekend, so. Here we go with today's show. The show must go on. And the first thing I want to talk about, of course, always is my sponsors, the people who bring you this show: Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, and of course, my newest sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. So when we look at the weather, we see it's really nice out here, but you know what's coming. So you don't want to be reactive. You want to be proactive. You want to get your car to Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and have it checked out. And to help you to get it there, they're having a free end of the summer inspection. So you can take your car there and get it inspected end of the summer. They look at your brakes, they look at your suspension, they look at your tires, they give your car a computer scan, check your fluids, check your lighting, and they actually take your vehicle for a test drive to make sure everything sounds the way it should. And all this is for no charge. And if anything's wrong, of course, they let you know, they give you the price, and they fix it right on the spot. So, unbelievable offer from Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Go see Ken Hunter. Ken Hunter, he will take care of you. You will get that free end of summer inspection done. You're going to be happy motoring throughout the winter. You don't want to be breaking down when the weather's crappy and having to tow your truck or your car to a Wild Bill's or some other repair shop and have it taken care of. You do it now while the weather's nice. You be proactive, like I try to be. At the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You want to get your car in there and get it checked out. Now, if you get in a crash, get your car taken to Ken's place, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. He has a full body shop. Get your car out of the showroom, out of his shop, looking like it just came out of a showroom, for that matter. And you're going to be very happy. Tell them Paul from your city, your voice sent you. Go get your car checked. Don't be reactive, be proactive. So, what do we got going on today? We have a beautiful day out there today. What a really nice, we're what, it's September 27th or something today? Let me look. Yeah, 27th of September. And this is the kind of weather we're getting. I'll take this rather than what happened in Florida. Prayers to the people in Florida, hoping they recover from that Category 4 that hit the Big Bend last night. They pretty well got swamped, and a lot of roads are washed out. A lot of causeways are washed out. They're going to have a tough time. There's, I don't know, something like 900,000 people out of power, and 800,000 in Georgia. They got hit real bad too. So prayers going out to them. Hope they recover fast and get everything fixed. It looked like Ron DeSantis is on it. He was on the news this morning doing a press conference, and he has it pretty well under control. They were ready. They knew they were going to get it. They had everything in place, and they're moving real quick to get everything back to normal. So let's hope they do. We don't want to see this happening to anybody in Florida. Our friends down there, we have lots of friends in Florida, and we want them to be safe and get back to normal as soon as possible. So, I had to laugh. I have Facebook, of course. I post my show on Facebook all the time, and of course, there's people who comment on it, and some say great show, some say you're telling the truth, some say we need a voice. But one guy that commented was hilarious, and I don't take any of this to heart. I like people's opinions. They can criticize me and everything else. I get it. Not everybody's going to agree with my opinion, but they really, really do have to understand that I'm not a reporter. I don't go out there and get the news and write it down and I'm reporting what I see. I read stories and get a feeling, but I do watch a lot of news programs. As a matter of fact, other than the Montreal Canadiens, I watch exclusively news, right? And news coming from all sources. For different opinions on whatever, and if Kamala, if she's given a speech, I watch it. I want to hear what she has to say and how vapid her statements are. Also, if I'll watch anybody. I don't care. I watch them all. I want to see what they're saying, what they have to say, what their opinion is, and sometimes it's a great laugh. But a gentleman named Hugh Jordan commented on my post, on my video, and he said that I should be fair. 'Cause I criticized Kamala, and I should be fair with Kamala and Trump. Like, I don't mention that he's the 34 count felon, and I should. And but I always criticize Kamala. I criticize Kamala and that, and I should be fair and give equal time and blah blah blah. But he's got to remember, I don't give equal time. I tell you what I think, and I challenge anybody to tell me exactly what Kamala's done in her 4 years as vice president. What has she done? What has Biden done? Nothing. That's what they've done. Absolutely nothing. They've turned the United States into a mess. That's what they've done. So I have a hard time giving her compliments when she's actually done nothing and accomplished nothing. That's why I don't give her compliments. I have nothing to compliment her on. If anything, she ruined the country. She left the border open. Their policies are terrible. There's 2 wars going on right now because of them. This is on their watch. And he wonders why I compliment Trump. And I talk about Trump. Well, I mean, Trump closed the border. He had one of the best economies. There's more blacks and minorities put to work than at any other time. He had no wars under his watch. I can name a list of things that Trump's accomplished. And then you talk to any of my friends who have 401ks when Trump was in, they were doing fantastic. And now they're doing good again because markets work in the future and they see Trump getting elected again. He's way ahead. I don't care what these TV guys say. He's ahead. And he's going to win unless they kill him first. They tried twice 2 assassination attempts. They tried to impeach him twice. They gave him the 4 indictments against him, 3 of which have been thrown out now. And the only one left hanging is that one in New York. And it's so bad. It's so bad when they weaponize the Justice Department that they can't even sentence him. They put the sentencing off from May to September. Then they put it off till September 18th or 20th. And then they put it off now till after the election because they don't have a case. It's going to be overturned on appeal. So to tell me that he's got 34 felonies, okay, he does. That's a fact. I will admit that. But they're not going to be there for long. They're not going to be there for long. I mean, because they're going to be overturned. He's going to appeal it, and it's going to overturn. And he's going to win. Like all the other cases against him for the classified documents and that. I mean, imagine charging him with something that happened 20 years ago under testimony of a convicted felon, Cohen, in a 2-bit hooker who claims that he gave her money or something. It was through the election thing and that, but testified for on behalf of by a Michael Cohen, who was a convicted felon for sure. I mean, come on, this is a joke. They weaponize these guys. They sent them to New York to get them, Alvin Bragg and Mnuchin and whoever else that other guy was. They sent from Washington D.C. to go get them. I mean, never done in the history of justice. Unbelievable. So I have a hard time, and I don't have any onus on me to even say anything good about Kamala. He even gave me a lesson how to pronounce her name. He spelled it out for me so I could figure Kamala, whatever. I don't care. She doesn't deserve to be there. She never got voted into anything, never got 1 vote. They threw out a guy with 14 million votes so she could get in. Not elected to any position, slid her way through everything until she hit the top spot. Now she's going to have control of everything. She's the most incompetent person I've ever seen to be president of the United States. And this guy will say, Trump, sure, TDS, he's got Trump derangement syndrome, no problem. But thank you for your opinion. I appreciate it. But man, you got to come up with better than the reason I want to vote for Kamala is because Trump is a 34 count felon. Especially after I watched the court proceedings and the whole thing as much as I could, as much as they would release, seeing this railroading kangaroo court they put together. Come on, get serious. Come on, give me something. Give me something to work with here. Give me some facts. What did Kamala do over 4 years? What did she do for the United States of America and the people? Everything's 40 or 50% higher. They ruined it with this vaccine mandate and everything else. It was a bust. Joe wasn't even running the country. Who's running the country? It must have been Kamala. She's vice president. She left every meeting. She was the last person to leave, she said. And she gets up there and says nothing. Nothing. They call it word salad, nothing. So, I mean, okay, Hugh, I'll take it. Trump's a convicted felon. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. But other than that, you got nothing. You got nothing. And I'm not a reporter. I don't have to be fair to anybody. I just tell you what I see, my opinion, which is like, you know what? Everybody's got an opinion, right? And everybody's got a you know what too. So I appreciate your opinion. Thank you for correcting me or whatever you did there and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, yeah, I don't care. But I thank your comment, though. I do like the comment. I mean, at least somebody's paying attention. Thank you very much, you. And you keep on commenting, keep on ripping me apart. I don't care. I want you to pay attention, and you're paying attention. Thank you very much. Finally, somebody's paying attention other than my buddy Gary Wilkins, who always pays attention to my shows. So, and there's probably some other people too. But I thank all my viewers and listeners. And I know a lot of them don't agree with me. Wheels never agrees with me, but that's fine. That's fine. Me and Wheels get along great. We're best friends. You'll be in here on Monday to do the city council agenda review. We don't agree on everything. Probably we don't agree on a lot of things, but we appreciate each other comments and that kind of thing. So we can still be friends even though we don't agree, right? And that's what I say to Hugh Jordan. So I don't take anything personally. Opinions are opinions. Okay, so let's get over what's happening around the country and around the world today here. Oh boy, lots going on. I might not get to it now because of my initial rant. So, what's Ontario like a month after the beer was allowed in corner stores? Are drunkards walking the streets looking for the next beer at the nearest corner store? Are mothers having to protect their kids from the evils of beer and wine lurking just down the street? Are they missing their milk because mothers are buying beer? No, they're not. Nothing's happened. Nothing's changed. The answer is, of course, no. Nothing like that is happening. All you have is happy consumers being able to enjoy the convenience of corner store six packs, which is fantastic. It's about time we got out of the nanny state. But what about pricing, though? That's a good question, right? What about pricing? We know corner stores are sometimes a little bit more expensive than grocery stores and that. But are consumers getting a good deal out of these relaxed rules? Well, yes and no. Yes and no. The display price for beer in Circle K, Petro-Canada, and 7-Eleven convenience stores is lower than what you would see at LCBO stores. How much lower? Well, let's take a look at a favorite. Stella Artois, $16.99 at the 7-Eleven, $17.16 at Circle K, $17.12 at Sears, $17.99 at the beer store, and a whopping $19.95 at the LCBO. But one caveat, there's no onus on the corner stores, to display the price with taxes included, which the LCBO does. When you go buy a bottle off the shelf, all the taxes are included. You pay the price that it says there. So when you look at that dynamic, it changes the pricing a little bit. So I don't think they're that much or any cheaper than the LCBO. I mean, they're very, very close to most of them. So you have to watch that when you're buying at the corner store. You go, oh, this is cheaper. And then you look at your bill and it's, got the taxes on it and it works out to be about the same, which is all right. Because the bottom line at the corner store has always been convenience, right? So when you just look at it dollars and cents wise, you can walk to the corner store, grab a 6-pack and come back rather than driving to the LCBO, wherever that may be in relation to your house. Then you're not spending gas money. And at $5, about $8 a gallon or whatever it is now, you may be saving money just not having to travel to get it. So you're still ahead of the game at the corner store when you look at it all, right? I think it's going to take time for consumers to even remember the corner store beer, wine, or pre-mixed alcoholic drinks. I don't know how good they're doing, but the last thing I think about when I go by the corner store is booze. I don't know why. I just probably hasn't registered they have it there, only because I'm so used to being brainwashed over the years of my life that I have to buy beer at the beer store and liquor at the LCBO. I just don't think about it at the corner store. They don't sell liquor, of course. They sell pre-mixed alcoholic drinks, though, with liquor in them, but they don't sell bottles of hooch. When I say I need a beer, I think of the beer store. I don't think of going to the corner store or Zares, even Zares and that, and they've had it for a few years now. I don't even think of that, right? They've had it for 5 or 6 years now, before COVID anyway. It's just, I've been programmed, but I'm sure younger people are tuned into this a little bit more than I am. They haven't been programmed for the LCBO and beer store, which were the only games in town for a long time. So they may respond better to the corner stores having it and go there a little bit more often. But us old fogies, we remember the days of brown bagging it, and not being able to drink on your front lawn. And back in the old days. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So I think it's a good thing. I don't see any problems. I haven't heard of any problems developing out of having it there. So I would say it's a good thing. And yeah, good for us. Good for them. And, the beer store is going to have to sharpen up, and the liquor store is going to have to sharpen up and compete with these corner stores, these big box retailers like Zares and eventually probably Costco, who bring out their own Kirkland brands and stuff like that. So, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Competition is good. Usually the consumer somehow benefits from it, and we still might. We'll still might when the price of beer and that gets going here, and see what these guys at the corner store, if they're allowed to put it on sale and that kind of thing. Yeah, I want to get to my second sponsor, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. You ever seen these houses lit up at night, and they're just beautifully lit up with track lighting and that? That's probably Hamilton Glowstone Lighting who did that. They are the leaders in permanent outdoor track lighting. And that's right, it's track lighting. These lights are on tracks, they attach to your house. And in the daytime, you barely see them because they match the color of your house. And at night is when they really shine, no pun intended. That's when you see them. And you can adjust them to any color. So if you want to celebrate certain holidays like Christmas, you can make them red, green, red, green. They're built in zones, and you control the zones right from your phone. Yeah, you can change the colors. So St. Patrick's Day green, red and green for Christmas, red and white for Canada Day, October 31st, Halloween, orange, of course. So you can control all that from your phone. Everything's good. And they have a lifetime warranty on them. They're LED lights, very, very efficient on energy. They don't make your meter spin around in circles. Actually, excellent, excellent lighting. Safety, they light up your pathways and driveway. Value, they add value to your house. I mean, and you know what? They also make it so you don't have to break your neck. A lot of people have to go up and down these ladders and stuff, and they fall off and break their neck, and it's rotten weather, cold, rainy, drizzly. Those days in the fall when you don't want to get up there, but you want to have nice Christmas lights. And this is what it does for you. And actually, now's a great time to call because they're starting to get a lot of orders for Christmas people. People want to get nice lights up for Christmas. They don't want to climb those ladders. So you got to call in Buckborough today, 289-969-1797. He's going to come give you a free quote, and away you go. They offer financing on approved credit if you want to really Griswold up your house. So you got it all. Call in Buckborough. He's the owner. 289-969-1797. Give him a call today. Get him set up. Tell him Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. So let's go over to the province and our buddy Dougie Ford, Premier Doug Ford. He's come up with a great idea as far as I'm concerned. Tunneling under the existing 401 to provide another free way to carry traffic. Ah, beautiful. I mean, there's not a lot of room to expand the 401. It's already 100 lanes, 50 each way, and it still can't handle the traffic. So we don't have a lot of room to expand. So what they got to do is they're going to do something smart, is go under. Right? And it's just crazy on the 401. I mean, there's so many accidents in it. It's a traveler's nightmare. I hate getting on it for any length of it if I don't have to. It's a Mad Max journey to the wrecking yard, and there's nowhere to go. And that's just the way it is on the 401. It's crazy. But when we look at Toronto, Hogtown, there's only 2 roads in and 2 roads out, the Gardner Expressway and the 401. That's it. And they're both bad. Being on the lake, there's no room to add anything. The city's locked in. So they build the 407, which we have to pay for, and that alleviates some congestion for those that want to pay for it or can afford to pay for it. A lot of people don't. And new highways are a tough build. The environmentalists and farmland people do not want anything built on their land. So expanding it or building another highway, everybody's yelling and screaming all the time about that. They don't want to use farmland. That so going underneath makes perfect sense. Um, a lot of people think this is a foolish plan, but talk to the city of Boston that actually executed Ford's idea to perfection, building the Boston Central Artery Tunnel called the Big Dig, replacing a 6-lane elevated expressway that ran through the city's downtown core with an underground expressway. That's what they did. They put an underground directly beneath the existing one. The Big Dig transformed Boston, and it can do the same for travel in Toronto. And I would say the same thing should be done with the crumbling Gardner Expressway. Put it underground with exits going to the streets, and get rid of that behemoth elevated highway that looks crappy, destroys the skyline. It is crumbling right now because it's old, and they're going to have to do something with it. So imagine going into Toronto without that big thing sticking up and getting through to the downtown arteries via a nice tunnel. So Ford's plan is to run the tunnel under the 401 from Mississauga to Scarberia, which will carry more traffic, and throw in a public transit line to alleviate the crunch of traffic on the 401 in the greater Toronto Hamilton area. And yeah, I mean, all the stuff coming off that Gardner down the QEW, it affects Hamilton and everything too. The faster you can move traffic, the better. Ford says today's gridlock costs the region and economy about $11 billion annually from the gridlock. And that's basically trucks and cars idling. Well, traffic sits still. And he's got a good point, and the environmentalists haven't even kicked in because all those cars idling are spewing crap into the air. So a nice tunnel would probably alleviate some of that sitting and waiting and everything else. And I'm sure people with electric cars, they're very, very happy to see something like this being suggested, because it's nothing worse than sitting on a cold day in traffic with your heater going in an electric car, knowing that the battery going down, down, down to the point where now you're looking for a recharge and you're sitting in traffic in the middle of a highway. Of course, we take the opposition leaders, Merritt Stiles, socialist NDP leader, and Mike Schreiner, the man who would be king. He warned it would cost the taxpayer billions, make the commute more expensive, make gridlock worse because of the years of complicated construction issues. Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie, who probably really thinks, why didn't I think of that myself? Says the tunnel is a pipe dream that could cost hundreds of billions of dollars, and urge a feasibility study to examine the cost of buying the 407 back. Didn't we own that and sell that already? She wants to buy the 407 back and take that over again and use that. And she says it's underused most of the day instead of building a tunnel. So it's underused because you got to pay. People don't like to pay. So maybe Bonnie Crombie wants to buy it back for billions. This is tax and spend politics right here with the Liberals. They're going to buy it back for $1 trillion or some goofy number, and then they're going to put people on it for free. If it's underused now, it'll still be underused if you're going to charge. So you got to make it free for everybody so they use it. So I can see this being a huge tax and spend issue if they decide to go with her. We'll see. But I like the idea to put a lot of people to work, something that is needed with the influx of immigrants expected in the next 10 years. Sure, the project is a big one. It's going to take a long time for studies and the dig itself. But there's no time like 10 years ago to look into it. We should have been doing this a long time ago. The reality is. But the big dig took a long time. The project took 16 years to complete once it was started, from 1991 to 2007, although it officially opened in 2003. It spanned 7.8 miles, 161 lane miles in all, and employed close to 5,000 people for the project. I mean, back in the day, we had the Welland Canal and the hydro tunnels and other big projects that were building Ontario, and it put thousands of people to work and helped the economy. I mean, why wouldn't this do the same thing? It'd be another one of those, a huge legacy project. So there you go. What do you think? You think this is a good idea? 407? Well, comment on the video after the video. Tell me what you think, and we'll discuss it on the next show. I think it's a great idea, but I'm sure there are people who say, "Are you crazy? We're already in enough debt. We can't afford to do that." Well, something's got to be done, and they're going to spend the money somehow. And they don't want to use farmland, and they don't want to do other stuff with it. So maybe this is the option, the good option. We'll see. Back to the city of Niagara Falls. Okay, they're here. It's here. For a mere $35 plus HST, of course, you can park on city streets without having to feed the meter. Yep, you can get your $35 parking pass plus HST, of course. And you're allowed to park on city streets for 2 hours. And if you go over 2 hours, you get a ticket like everybody else. Oh, and don't try to move your car a few spaces down, neither. If you want to leave it there for 4 hours, because if you're in the same zone, Rita, meter maid is going to come and get you and give you a ticket. So, you got to move to a different zone away from where you are if you're going to park for more than 2 hours. The pass is good for 2 license plate numbers per household in any space with machines or meters. It's not valid in municipal parking lots or along Niagara Park properties. So those lots, if you go to Yanks and you want to park at that city lot there, nope, can't do it. Got to find a parking spot on the street. And you're only good for 2 hours, so you hope Yanks brings out the food real fast and drops your beers in front of you, and so you can get the hell out of there. And of course, you can't park in the hospital parking lot or anything like that. This whole thing bothers me. And you know that. I've talked about it. This just bothers me. We've seen a 12% rise in property taxes over the last 2 years, not to mention higher prices at the grocery store for water, sewer, transit, hydro, national gas, groceries, gasoline, dining out, blah, blah, blah. I could go on. You name it. I don't know. There's more too. Booze goes up all the time. Everything goes up all the time. Carbon taxes. We're getting hit with everything. So you'd think maybe, rather than picking our pockets for another $35, while they spend $12 million on a walking trail that we really don't need, and other amenities that are nice to have but not necessary at all to live, wouldn't it be nice for every single taxpayer to open their tax bill in January and get this little pass for parking on city streets, compliments of the city of Niagara Falls? Wouldn't that be nice for the citizens who put up with the tourists all summer and get $24 million from the casino that goes in the city coffers that we don't know where it goes? Wouldn't that be nice? We put up with the noise of helicopters and fireworks. Our tax dollars going to build roads down in the tourist area. Wouldn't it be nice in a tourist town to have a little perk of living in a casino town that gives us $24 million a year? Wouldn't that be nice to get a $35 stinking parking ticket in your tax bill, where you could actually go and take advantage of? What's it going to cost the city? Think about it. It's going to cost them nothing, absolutely nothing. The parking spaces are there, and a lot of times they're not even being used anyway. If a study was done, and please don't waste more money doing a study, please, they probably would find that a parking permit in every tax bill would cost the city about $20,000 a year in lost parking revenue, maybe. Because how many people are going to buy this? They'll know after 1 year how many people purchase these passes and how many times they use them. They'll have the numbers. See what it would cost if they didn't charge that. $2 for parking. That's 10,000 parking spots used over a year for $2. It costs to park for the 2 hours. Seriously, folks, it's not going to cost the city that much money. They blow that on nonsense. Right? They don't worry about the revenue that when they have the car shows downtown that is lost from parking for 3 blocks here, 2 or 3 blocks. They don't worry about that once a week for the summer. I mean, seriously, it wouldn't cost them that much to just give us that $35. Come on, council, drop the 35 when the new tax bills go out and give all of us a free pass. Give us a nice perk that no other city gets. You have nothing to lose except the notion that you don't care about the residents of Niagara Falls. Maybe they'll actually think you care, this little perk. The big money loser, if it is a big money loser, right, then start charging. Start charging. If you say, oh, geez, we lost $200,000 in revenue, some big number, then start charging. But until then, let's just get it going for the next year, see how it works out, and then take action after that. I mean, the benefits of you treating your taxpayers right will far outweigh any revenue loss. And you can take that to the bank. That's my opinion. I don't know, guys out there, what do you think? You think we should get this for free in our tax bills because we do pay taxes? They've gone up 12% and we get $24 million from the casino or so? I don't know. Just makes sense to me, but yeah, you call me crazy. What do I know, right? I'm just a dummy behind a microphone picking sides according to some people. Okay. Too many people are getting hit by cars in Niagara Falls. Why, oh, why is that? Well, it's probably mostly distracted driving and distracted walking, I assume. People aren't paying attention. We see people on their phones. I've seen people walk into posts on their phone. They're just not paying attention. They walk off the curb, a guy making a right, bingo, bango, bang, they're on the ground. But there are also other issues that have inched their way to danger over the last 9 years, and that is traffic itself caused by the influx of people to Niagara Falls. We have increased the people that live in the city, closing in on 100,000 from about 80,000 10 years ago. Yet really not taking care of the infrastructure that has to handle 20,000 more people and a lot more cars. As well, with the influx of immigrants, you are seeing a lot more people walking the city. I see a lot more people walking around on the streets, on the sidewalks. More people walking means a higher chance of someone getting clipped by a car, especially when traffic's really heavy on these days. In the wide expanse of busy roadways, because they have widened them to take into account traffic, like McLeod Road at the QEW, Thurlstone Road at Dorchester, and most of Lundy's Lane are just accidents waiting to happen. So what do we do? The solution? Well, it's overhead walkways. I would say overhead walkways or not allowing right-hand turns on red lights. Both of those may be together. But overhead walkways for sure to get people across safely. It would be expensive, but on some of these roads, they're needed. You could go underground, but safety at night would be an issue. I would think that overhead walkways would be a great idea. And they are lit up at night. They'd have lights on at night, so it would be pretty safe. Now, I'm not sure what the expense would be or who would pay over regional roads, but looking into several key problem areas might be a great idea. As the city grows, we can add more. They have them in Vegas. They have them in the tourist areas in Niagara Falls. Why not all around the city? If you look down on Murray Hill, there's a pedestrian bridge going over Murray Hill to the casino, and they have one going from the Hilton to the casino as well, so people can walk straight across out of the weather and that kind of thing. So it wouldn't be a big deal to put them up. Now the cost, I don't know. Today's price is maybe more than $1 million a copy if you want to have them open, like open walkways, just a pedestrian bridge type of thing. Maybe more if you want them covered, if you want to have them covered so in the winter they're not covered with snow, less maintenance. But, you wouldn't have to have anything heavy duty for pedestrian traffic. It's all about, your engineering as to load, how much weight they're going to have on them. It's not like a car bridge. It's just a pedestrian walkway, and you'd have to make it accessible for disabled. So there would have to be ramps for wheelchairs and scooters and everything else, so they could use them. But other than that, if you covered them, there'd be no snow on them, no weather would get on them, which would be pretty neat. And I think now is probably a great time to discuss it because the region is planning on doing something with McLeod Road, and maybe they can incorporate it into the build because they're going to do something with McLeod Road as far as remodeling it, revamping it, redoing it. So now is a great time to look at something like this. And the ongoing traffic problem isn't going to get better out there. It's going to get worse. They're expanding to the west and the south, right in that area, and traffic's going to get even bigger. And there's probably 5 or 6 builds going up, apartment complexes going up right now that have been approved in planning, and they're going to come into play in the very near future as well. So I would say City Council should take a look at this and be pushing for it and keep people safe. Try out a couple, put a couple up, see what happens. You need them on, going one way over McLeod and the other way over Oakwood, say at the corner of Oakwood and McLeod where that McDonald's is there. So you'd only put them on maybe one side of the street. You wouldn't need 4 of them. If you wanted to cross safely, you just go up the one, go down the other, up the one over the other. You're on the other side of the road, right? You want to cross over to the other side of the road. So it'll be something like that. I don't know how much they are copy covered, probably a little bit more than uncovered, just an open pedestrian bridge. But, I think it's time to consider it and see if we can keep people off the streets with the busy traffic that's going on. And they might have to take a look at streets that are very, very busy of eliminating right-hand turns. You got to wait for the lights to make sure everything's safe. People are always running against the hands that go up to say pedestrians, and there's these countdown meters and everything else, but people get caught in the intersection, somebody not paying attention, making a right. It's going to be stuff like that cures it. I mean, I don't think there's any other way. As the city grows and gets even more busy, we're going to be at 140,000 in 10 years, maybe. Who knows, the way they're bringing in people. So I think that's the way to do it. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're watching the video and you see the comment, let me know what your points are. See if you have a solution for it that might work better. That's what it's all about, discussing these issues, these problems, and fixing them, making them better, and giving City Council some input from us, the citizens who use them every day, as to how we want to work with it, right? So, October, big month for government handouts. What's fine by me. What the hell? We pay enough taxes. It's nice to get some back. Salute. This isn't vodka from the corner store. So October 4th brings us the HST GST credit. October 10th brings us the Ontario Trillium benefit. October 15th brings us the carbon tax rebate. And October 18th brings us the Canada Child benefit. So 4 big days in October of getting some money back here. And of course, you have to qualify. And if you do, you can tell the government, show me the money. I want to see the money. And just while we're mentioning the government here, October 1st brings us the new minimum wage of $17.20 an hour, which will drive prices up again for consumers. So you're going to need that money. It'll be gone before you know it. And we talked about that domino effect yesterday on the show with Chris Regas. The rise in minimum wage brings on yesterday's show. That's what we were talking about. Imagine the person at the takeout window handing out your coffee at Tim Hortons is making $17.20 an hour, for about $35,000 a year. It makes sitting at the takeout window worth it. 35 grand a year to hand people coffee. Nice work. And of course, there's a chain reaction with all this. Prices are going to go up in grocery stores. The deliveries are going to charge more. The grocers are going to charge more. The people working there charge more. The shelf price goes up. No matter where you go to a restaurant, the people that deliver their food charge more. The food coming in the back door charge more because the people who are driving the trucks to deliver that food are making more now. People making $20 an hour because they're managers rather than $17 at McDonald's are now going to want to raise because, they should be making more. And at the end of the day, you get taxed more anyway. So I'm not a big fan of minimum wage increases, of course, for business, but if it worked, why not make it $25 an hour? Studies say that people need $25 an hour to be able to afford to live in Toronto. $20, $23 an hour here. Why not just raise it? Why not make it $50 an hour and everybody can have a great life? They'll be making 100,000 a year. If it works, that's what they should be doing, right? No, it doesn't work. That's why they don't do that. Okay, let's go down south a little bit, and somebody's gonna love these comments. Woo! Yeah, Kamala Chameleon is sinking faster than the Titanic. The jig is up for her. She's now exposed for the fake she really is. She's been handed every position she had, moved through the system, much like Obama, to a point where she would be king, or should I say queen, without having one qualification to hold the most powerful position in the world, President of the United States. Yeah, I should say queen because somebody will yell at me. She's not a king, but I don't know. Do you define a queen? Now, she's on her own, right? Now she's on her own. Yep, no fooling around, sitting with reporters and having to answer tough questions, failing every single time with nonsensical answers to important questions. She's totally lost. Was she given 3 or 4 interviews, and they were jokes. They were jokes. Oprah Winfrey. Oh man, she's totally lost. Has no clue. And without her handlers there to move her through the system, she's done. I mean, hell, her first interview that she did after the media or after the party just gave her the throne, she had to have Tampon Tim with her. And then she was hammered about having him there. Yeah, a woman, she's going to run for president. A strong woman needs a man there. Why did she have Tampon Tim with her? So then she went on her own. It got even worse. Now she's a ghost. She has no ability other than lie and cheat her way to the top. With pushes from her handlers, and the American people are now on to her. It's over. The Cinderella effect that was handed to her after her crowning is gone. Midnight is struck. The pumpkin coach and glass slippers have disappeared. Even her own news left-wing media are starting to talk against her. They can't even support this phony. Now, people may not like Trump. And we saw one guy who didn't like Trump. They call him Don the Con, the convicted felon. They've tried to indict him, impeach him, shoot him in the head once, shoot him another way another time. But he's got an accomplishment, a record of accomplishments that cannot be denied by even the biggest person with Trump derangement syndrome. Big business people don't like him. They don't like his manner. They don't like his talk. They say he talks stupid. They may not like what he says or his demeanor, but they know the USA was better off when he was running the show. And they're going to vote for him. They're going to vote for him. I don't see the sense of voting for someone who can't do the job over someone who's got a tried and proven record. He was president for 4 years. You saw what he did. No wars, the borders, the economy, everything. You saw what he did. So you're going to go with somebody who's done nothing because you don't like somebody? I mean, people have to swallow it and just get on and get the best person for the job. It's crazy what they're saying. I just don't get it. I don't understand that reasoning. Vote for something, not against something. You're going to get what you deserve if you vote Democratic. I'll tell you that right now. And in Canada, we're in the same boat. You vote Liberal, you're going to get what you deserve. We're getting what we deserve now. And it's said that every government gets, the citizens get the government they deserve. So take that and say what you want about it. Now, while we're on the subject of Trump, I was watching this morning, and they're saying there's 9 surface-to-air missiles have come into the United States, been smuggled in through the New Mexico border, and there's 3 teams that have these that are looking to shoot down Trump Force One. I mean, this is a real concern. It's been said a lot of times now. And there's also 5 assassination squads that are out in the United States that are trying to kill Trump. And yeah, so this is wild stuff right now. How true it is, I don't know. This is coming through several news sources, though. This isn't just coming from Fox News or something. This is coming from a lot of people with inside information. So, I mean, whether you think it's true or not, I think you have to take it seriously and say that they've got to do stuff to protect this guy more than they have. They already have it twice. And of course, I look on the other side of that, and we know damn well the United States and the globalists want a war with Iran. They're dying for a war with Iran. When they showed that video of allegedly from the Ayatollah in Iran of that little robot going around, and they're looking to kill Trump with this robot, remote controlled robot, and drones and stuff. They call it a drone. It's just on the land. It's not flying around. It's a drone on the ground because it's remote controlled. But they're looking to kill Trump with that, armed with a pistol on it or a firearm anyway. So I mean, they want a war with Iran. They're going to pin this on Iran. If Trump, anything happens to Trump, they're trying to pin it on Iran. And the same with Israel. They're trying to pin it on Iran. Anything that happens with Hezbollah and Hamas and that, they want a war with Iran. They want a war with Iran. This has been planned for years. They're trying to get them into a war. So when I see stuff like this about the squads against Trump and that, if anything happens, you can almost guarantee it's going to be put on Trump. Or not Trump, sorry, Iran. It's going to be. But I would say if anything happens with Kamala or Biden or any other politician, a big politician, they're going to try to put it on Iran. I think they even beefed up security for Joe Biden. That's the way it is now. These guys are out there. And stay tuned. There could be a big October surprise. We sat here, Peter Dichter and I, saying that they're going to shoot Trumper. Tucker Carlson said it months ago, maybe a year ago. He said, when he had Trump in there for an interview, he said, they're going to try to kill you. You know that, right? That's all that's left. They tried to impeach you. They've tried to indict you. They've done everything they can. The only thing left is to try to kill you. He said that, right, to Trump. Are you worried about it? So this isn't anything that wasn't known. They were going to try. They tried twice now, just missed once by the hand of God. He turned his head. And the other time, the same way. So I would say keep your eyes open out there. There could be an October surprise. I don't know what it is, but there's something going to go down. And over to my third sponsor, Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. Yeah. Have a need for the pizza like I do all the time. I love pizza. It's my favorite food. Well, give Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue a try. I mean, I said to Mike, the guy who owns it, he worked in an Italian restaurant for 15 years, that, I wouldn't advocate for anything I didn't believe in. If I don't like the pizza, I won't do it. And I tried it and I liked it. It's pretty darn good. And they use an old Italian family recipe from the Mancini family. Reno Mancini started Pizza in St. Gavin's on Ontario Street, there across from the plant, 40 years ago. It's their 40th anniversary, and he uses an old Mancini family recipe to make the sauce and the crust and everything. It's fantastic. And Mike over here at Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, he uses Saputo mozzarella with a brick cheese for his cheese. He mixes it in the right ratio, the cheese and the sauce. It's beautiful. Great toppings on it. He has a bunch of toppings, but they just don't have pizza. No. They have subs, poutine, panzerotti, weekly specials and combos with wings. You can't miss. Now, like I said, they're celebrating their 40th anniversary. And in that regard, they're offering 2 medium pizzas with 3 toppings for $25. 2 for $25 plus tax. Great deal, man. I got to go get one of those deals and freeze one, put it away. I don't mind it. Fresh out of the freezer. It's fantastic. But yeah, you take advantage of that offer. They've also extended their hours till midnight from Sunday to Thursday till 2 a.m. Friday and Saturday. So you get those late night munchies after a night out. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue is open till 2 a.m. So there you go. You got a place to go now. How do you get a pizza from Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue? Just dial 905-374-2222 Order online. That's the easiest way. That's what I do. Pete's PizzaVictoria.ca. You place your order. Your pizza awaits you. Tell Mike Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Enjoy a nice pizza tonight for supper. Okay, so what do we got next here? Well, we're going to go to the Mideast for a minute. Things are really heating up in the Middle East. The Israelis aren't taking attacks by Hezbollah lightly. They're striking back with force, looking to take out the major leaders wherever they are hiding. There's a lot of casualties right now, civilians included, and all civilians have been told to leave the city of Tyre and Beirut to avoid being part of the collateral damage. And I just saw this morning when I was leaving, there was a big explosion in Beirut. Not sure where it came from, a plane, a bomb, a missile, I don't know what it was, but it was smoking in Beirut this morning. And of course, this is going to expand into a serious regional war. I don't think there's any way to avoid it. Someone has to broker a peace deal, but there's nobody right now. I don't think that can do it. Netanyahu was at the UN giving an address this morning. And basically, he laid down all the reasons why he's not backing off, and he's going to continue this mission to eradicate Hamas and anybody else who would go against him. He's been being attacked by Hezbollah in the north, Houthis in the south, Hamas in the east, and of course, Iran threatening to direct attack on Israel for the killing of Haniyeh in Tehran a month and a half ago. They're going to attack Iran directly. These threats are out there. They're real. And of course, they're blaming Hezbollah and Hamas and Houthis on Iran, who is backing them. And ultimately, it goes back to Biden and Harris. They gave him $6 billion, the Ayatollah. They gave him, they took off all the sanctions so they could sell oil again and make a ton of money. And as soon as they got a chance, they started giving money to the terrorist groups, their proxy groups. And then they went and attacked, Israel, sending Hamas over the border to slaughter 1,200 plus people and take 275 hostages and not letting them go. So I don't think that's going to be solved anytime soon. I don't even have to say it. I know who can solve this. We know who can solve it. But he's not going to be around for at least till November 5th, another 40 days. So, oh boy, it doesn't get any better. And Ukraine and Russia the same way. Putin's warning NATO, if any bombs come flying into Moscow or any city in Russia, cruise missiles or any other armaments like that he's going to consider it an attack by NATO and the U.S. and Britain. And he could trace it right back to them because Ukraine doesn't have the ability to program these weapons. They have to get them from the U.S. or Britain, and they have to be programmed to do what they got to do. So there's fingerprints all over them, and he's going to consider it an attack on Russia. And he says nuclear weapons are not out of the mix. So we got that going on over there too. Yep, and we're running out of time here. Wow. Let's fly over to Port Colborne just for a minute. Do you remember the $1.56 billion lithium-ion battery separator plant for Port Colborne? Well, my opinion was at the time it was done. All the major car companies are dropping their EV production since nobody wants them. Ford, VW, Stellantis, GM, Volvo, even Hertz. Hertz is cutting back 1/3 of their U.S. electric fleet due to high repair costs and low demand for their battery-powered cars. All of these companies, they've had it with losing money on EVs and them being so inconsistent. Well, the people that are building this plant in Port Colborne, who are going to build it, they don't have any such concerns, which is good news for Port Colborne. They say they're confident the EV market in North America will generate more than enough demand to fully utilize all their initial production capacity for the Port Colborne facility. They're building separators, which is the first separator manufacturing plant in Canada. Lithium-ion battery separators are used in numerous applications from EVs to handheld electronics, anything with a lithium battery. Ashai Kasai, that's the name of the company that owns and is building this plant, said most of the production at the Port Colborne plant will be geared towards EVs, not so much the small phones and stuff like that, phone batteries. When the plant was first announced, it was reported the plant would supply Honda, who announced it would be putting a new battery plant next to its Allison facility. But of course, that could be under the gun as these car companies abandon their plans to go fully EV in the next 10 to 15 years. So they've all pulled out of this because there's no sales, nobody's interested, and they get tired of losing money. And I figured it would affect the separator plant, but apparently not. I mean, that's what they say. That's the spin. We won't know until shovels go in the ground, it's built, and they start doing stuff. But the plant's being built, and it should be finished by 2027 when the plant is expected to start up. It will create 300 full-time jobs once open. The plant is expected to expand in 3 phases. Once all phases are implemented, expectations are between 700 and 1,000 full-time positions. So my thing is, stay tuned to this one. Stay tuned to this one and see if it actually comes to fruition. In Niagara Falls, we are kind of like from the Missouri state, show me, don't tell me, right? That's the way it is. We've seen so many different projects from Vadaland to all these new hotels, 72 stories, 77 stories, 3 hotels, 4 towers, 5 towers, this corner, that corner. How many projects have been gone through planning, been approved, and the shovel's not turned? Look, we have a big hole on Ferry Street. Now we find out that the company went into receivership last October, which we never knew. Nobody told us. Everybody's contemplating what's happening with that, asking what's happening with that plant. Well, now we know. They went into receivership and they're trying to sell the land to somebody else. They came back to see if they could still get the historic Drummondville funding that we offered the first company. Then that same company was supposed to build on Walnut and Ellen Avenue and build on Bender Hill. Then we have the big hole in Chippewa at the boathouse. Nothing going on. A thing on Bridge and 4th that never got finished. Plus, I don't know how many in the planning stage. 72 stories, 77 stories. Big projects, never getting done. So when they tell me the plant's going to be operating, okay, sure, Bruce. But we'll see. Stay tuned to this one. I hope it is for Port Colborne's sake. It's a nice shot in the arm for them and good for them. So what do we got next week? Because we're running out of time here. Monday, City Council Agenda Review with Dave Wheeler. That's right. City Council takes place on Tuesday at 4 p.m. in City Council chambers. But we're going to do the show on Monday, get the video up, and then you can watch it if you want to know what's going on and what we think is going to happen at City Council meeting, explaining some things that you may not want to read every PDF for and go through the whole thing. You can just watch the video and get a clue to what's going on and how it's going to go down. Tuesday, Trash Talking Tuesday. I don't have any guest plan, but who knows. Wednesday, Habs-Absolutely with my co-host John Filion. All Habs, all show. We're going to be talking about the Habs. Thursday, Peter Dichter and Ben Guyat from Studio 54, the comedy place there. Are going to be in the studio, so we're supposed to be in here, so we'll see what happens there. It should be a lot of fun with Ben in the studio and Peter. And Friday is going to be Dr. Michael Lococo. He's supposed to come in. He's going to pay me a visit and tell me all about his new dental implant invention that is taking the world by storm. He's going to tell us all about it, which is pretty interesting, really, when he was sitting here telling me about it. And I have read about it. I got to do my homework. Came in on Wednesday and he said, have you done your homework? I said, Dr. Mike, I haven't had time to do homework on it yet, but don't worry, by the time the show pops up, I'll be doing it. So Dr. Michael's coming in. I don't know if you know him, you probably do, but a good guy and interesting character, to say the least. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up. Or a thumbs down in some cases. I know there's going to be somebody out there probably giving me a thumbs down on the video. Give me a thumbs up. Give me your comments. I want to know what you're thinking about this stuff. Subscribe to my channel so you know when the next video is going up. This one will be up by probably 3:30 this afternoon or so. I'm going to put it up. And yeah, tune in to Your City, Your Voice on 4680Q Radio, live every day at noon. Except Wednesdays, of course, we do Absolutely, and in the studios of 4680Q. there you go. Another show down the tube. And you know what? In the next week or so, I'm going to be at show number 400. Yeah, today's show number, let's see, it's 392 today. 8 more shows and I'm at 400. 400 shows in the bag. Thank goodness. Have a good day, everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday at noon with the City Council Agenda Review on Your City, Your Voice. Have a great day. Ciao, ciao.